It's IndyCast with Tyler Beam and Ricky Hyde. Rob is out again this week, post DC, and man, that the DC race. I don't really know where to start with that because I feel like the public at large or certain people, I don't know. It's you risk getting political, which I said last week I don't want to do, but there was a lot of. Let's say this: if there weren't concern for this race politically and all that mess, which was just going to happen, there was concern that I think I brought up that it would be a mess like Nashville Street Circuit, if we remember that. And it was not that. And I would argue there really weren't many negatives besides it being a bit long. Over 3 million viewers on Fox, and this is where I'll bring you and Ricky to go on about this with me is I don't know what feed you get over in Australia, but here it was on Fox, and I saw something that I don't see in IndyCar besides the Indy 500, which was they began a pre-show an hour and a half before the race started and had all of their, I guess you could say, heavy hitters on Fox pre-show land. Not a fan of the Fox pre-show, if I'm being honest. But was there anything special that you saw in Australia, or did you get just a feed of Fox? I'm not sure what you get there.
We get the whole lot. We got all the practices. We got the qualifying, all live. We get it live, and then obviously we can replay it if we want. Because we're on the other side of the world, we've got to get up in the morning to watch it. And we got the pre-show. We got the full pre-show. And guess what? I don't watch that. I just waited to the race. I went and did other things. I just love the racing. I'm sure the pre-show was amazing. There was enough through the practice to explain what was going on in the city. And I've been to DC. That's the one place I've actually been to. So I felt watching the screen that I felt connected to it because I was like, I've been there, I've been there. And the mall is an amazing place to visit. It's obviously amazing that they've got everything all in the same place. You know, you've got the Abraham Lincoln statues. You've got the White House itself, of course. But then they got that big lawn, the big grassy knoll, and it's amazing how they set that up for fans and people to have a place to relax as well as watch the track. And whilst the race was on, I did notice that no one was on that grassy knoll, and I thought that was good because everyone was addicted to seeing the race. And I think he got some new fans, including us.
Yeah, I think it certainly had that. I mean, the viewership, that was a lot more than your average viewership. I know we'll probably do a lot of deep dives in the off season on here of different things, and probably the viewership over the season of each race is probably something we'll eventually unwrap and kind of talk about. But the numbers go up each week after a race, and sometimes they don't crack 1 million, honestly. But this to hit 3 million, I mean, it doesn't quite hit what the Indy 500 does, of course, but it moved the needle for viewership, and there's no other way about that. And that's just number one. Number two, it was not a bad race. It was a long street course race. I was kind of following along on X and different places to kind of get a feel for what other people thought. And I think the only complaints I honestly saw were that it's going a little long. Can we wrap it up? But I was loving it. I was dug into it.
I like the length of the race. I actually enjoy enduros. It was kind of like an enduro race, really. I just wanted a little bit more action. It did get a little bit complacent throughout the stints. When someone doesn't go off, everyone started spreading out, and there wasn't really a chance to overtake. Thankfully, some cars, like maybe they had problems, which allowed someone behind them to try and attack. And then, of course, an accident happened, and it pulled out a safety car, which was rare. It wasn't that often. But for me, I was like, great, I love restarts in there because I know there's a bit of crazy going on. And it did. It delivered. And unfortunately, well, I'm sure you're going to go into your main man, McLaughlin. But there was that Malukas, Malukas had his accident, and that's made it a bit interesting at the restart as well. No, I was happy with the race. I like the length. I actually prefer the longer length because there's only 18 races in the year. I sit here and I go, I really want to see a race. If I can't have as many races, like F1 or NASCAR, then can you just make the broadcast a bit longer? So I want to just quickly go back to the pre-show. I didn't watch it because I'm already what would you say? I'm already into IndyCar. So you don't need to. I don't need to buy in. I'm done. I'm already there. I'm already there where they want me to. The whole thing with a pre-show is to get people excited and into it. I'm already there. I'm already at level 11. So I think what you say with the 3 million viewers, and you say most races don't click over 1 million, maybe more pre-shows, maybe more information coming at the newcomer to get into it. So that was new for me to see an hour and a half. Usually it's only about a half an hour over here. I reckon that hour and a half could really, get people into it a little bit more, because we're missing that. Most places around the world, I assume, they only get to see the race or the highlights. They don't actually get to see the build-up. So, I was very happy with the race. Length was great.
I agree with that on some of the pre-hype. I mean, that is, I know with sports here in general, you look at what's about to start up in America, football, and I mean football with, like the NFL, NCAA here.
You mean rugby?
Soccer.
Rugby or soccer?
Basically our version of rugby, right? It gets so confusing on the international scale. But the tailgate is a massive thing here. It's massive for the Indy 500. And that kind of build up, that's sometimes the most sacred thing to a lot of people. So you add the big pre-show. I remember NASCAR in its heyday had tons of pre-race coverage beginning on the old Speed channel. Oh, give me flashbacks. The old NASCAR race day on Speed for hours, that would get you going from the moment you woke up to the throwing of the green flag. And I mean, IndyCar gets that. Like we said, the Indy 500, the coverage begins super early, and you get that kind of jump around, and you get the editorials. But IndyCar, I mean, they get it in that kind of 30-minute period. But let's be honest, we've seen just this season on Fox, what is it? Is it Live Golf or the USFL or something? They'll be pushed right up against it with other sports that are, in the eyes of an IndyCar fanatic like ourselves, is just subpar and undesirable. Now, you want to get to our IndyCar coverage, I want more Hinchcliffe and everybody and Townsend Bell and Will Buxton, and I want to see what they have to say and what they've covered.
Yeah, I'm glad Buxton came over, actually. I was a bit worried. It's like, mate, you just got the dream job in F1. What are you doing? He's done great. His energy, his excitement, and he's got that, he's quite a personable character.
Yeah.
And you can tell he's us. He feels like he's us. Because he's obviously not a race car driver. He's just an enthusiast for motorsport, and you can feel it through the mic. I love the other guys too, and obviously most of them are ex-race car drivers. But yeah, Buxton, he took it to another level. I think Indy's on the right path to get this brand out a little bit more. Outside of the Indy 500, they don't need to do anything more on the Indy 500, do they?
Yeah,
that's the greatest race ever.
Yeah,
how do we build the rest of the season?
Yeah, we need every race to have the hype that we just had, and I mean, it's a one-off thing. Maybe that adds to it but I don't know. I mean, could we spruce up the Long Beach Grand Prix, something as legendary as that? Could something else?
I hope so, because that's one I can actually go to. It's just to jump over the creek between Australia and America. Creek.
And the IMSA weekend, I would meet you there. I would do that one for sure. That's a dream.
So that one I'm pretty keen on. But can I just say, while we're speaking about this and the popularity, did you hear Scott Dixon's comments that this is something along the lines as big as Indy 500?
I don't think I caught that. No, and everything I poured over, I don't think I caught that.
My main man, I don't know if he should have said that, because that's a big statement, but a fair statement, because he's allowed to say it, mate. 6-time champion, he can say whatever he wants.
Yeah. I don't know. I know some people in Speedway, Indiana, that might take issue with that one. But I mean, I enjoyed the race. I thought I'm going to run through the results just to set the stage for anybody that just glanced at it. Kirkwood obviously won, Lundgaard second, Power, Ericsson, Kiffin Simpson fifth, Siegel sixth, not bad. Scott Dixon seventh, Newgarden eighth, Kyle Collette ninth, Grosjean 10th, and I'll throw in 11th because it was Mick Schumacher. So there's your top 10 plus a bonus to give you a little establishment on it. I think so. Alex Palou had big problems, repeated problems, issues with the pit, getting out and slamming into a tire of a competitor. He gets a green flag drive-through penalty. Seems like he could recover from that, and then he has a crash. Not his day, even though he got the pole. Kirkwood kind of got ahead of him there early, and I think my take is that even if none of that had happened, I feel like Kirkwood still had this covered. I think we still would have seen Kirkwood get the win. I don't know if you agree or not on Palou versus Kirkwood, which is what more and more it seems like it's that, with the dash of Lundgaard as well.
Well, in qualifying, obviously Palou had what it takes, but in the race it was pretty pretty clear he was having troubles, and it was quite human to see him try and get back to the front. Like you say, he's quiet. He never complains, but he just puts his head down. But this time, he must have put his head down, and it just didn't work. And I'll imagine, even though he's not telling us that he's frustrated, I'd imagine he's yelling in his helmet the whole time, going, "Come on, you're better than this. What's going on?" So it was good to see something different. It was good to see Kirk. Mate, he was a legend. I think you're absolutely right. I don't think anyone could catch him on his day, and today was his day.
Yeah, the Andretti's just have it on the street circuits. I mean, obviously, we just saw Marcus Ericsson get the win, and Markham. Kirkwood's always a street circuit guy, but something about those cars, they're just there. I mean, obviously, Palou is there. He's the only one out of Ganassi that's really there this year, but it seems like any one of the three Andretti cars have a good shot. I mean, there was almost an Andretti podium full on. Will Power seemed really excited at the end of the race in his interview. What do you say? I think he said, "We're coming," or, they're there. And
he's every right to say that.
Yeah. And you contrast that with Penske on the other hand. Oh, Newgarden in the top 10. Okay, great. McLaughlin was up there. I mean, in Malukas, but the results, I guess we should say, not great. And,
yeah, that's a good point. Actually, I want to jump on that. Penske is showing some speed quite regularly, but they're not capitalizing on it. You got to finish to get to turn that speed into results, and they're not delivering. And Paul McLaughlin, mate, he did the right thing. I'm so grateful that he's a racer and he went for it. That's what we want. I hope no one holds that against him. I do see a couple of forums saying, does he deserve the drive? I'd rather see him do what he did there to try and take the lead than him sit in second or third and not try. This was his best chance to win a race, and I'm not saying he had it over Kirkwood to be able to beat him at the end, but something about if he had position here and he could at least stay on the track, you probably had a good chance to win the race. So good on him for giving a crack. But yeah, Penske's a little bit shocking on the results.
Oh, McLaughlin. Well, we got to spend some time on McLaughlin because I think I read similar things to you. Does he have what it takes? How long will Penske keep him around? Who else? Where would he go? They're already eliminating him from Penske on the internet and certain pockets of the IndyCar world as fans. And do you think that Do you think he's been different since the crash before the Indy 500, before this year? Something, do you think? It seems like, and I haven't poured over stats. This is just a vibe, as the kids would say, if I'm being honest. I just feel like something has been off with him since then. Obviously, he's had a drought with wins when it seemed like there for a period of time he was the next champion to be. So do you think there's something that's just, maybe that was a catalyst, or just something slow over the last year and a half?
Okay, before then, he was definitely considered a golden child, and his trajectory only looked on the way up. However, when he did that accident there, Indy 500 at the start, it proved that, look, the greatest don't do that. The greats don't do that. So it might have put a little chink in his armor, in himself, in his own confidence to go,
yeah, I
just failed on the biggest stage. As I say, this is the greatest race ever in the world, and he stuffed up on lap one on the pole, mate. That's got to hurt. That's going to hurt forever, and he's going to be remembered for that, So yeah, I think his confidence was down ever since then. That's like you say, just a vibe, just a personal opinion, and he's been struggling ever since. And this year's results are not reflective of what he can do, but like we say, they had some struggles last year as a team, and everyone's questioning whether Penske took over and they were going to dominate and try and control the championship. Clearly, they haven't. I think McLaughlin probably needs a reset, get through these next few races. I actually think he's got a very good chance of winning Milwaukee. He's very good there. He was good there last year. I'm keen to see him get a good result, as with Malukas as well, as with Newgarden. Newgarden and McLaughlin are some of the best short track Indy oval races that are around. Scott McLaughlin's just not finishing them. He's just not finishing the races with a win, at least.
And when you say what he can do, I think what we all are feeling there is that's winning, because I'm sure he was running second there and he was going for the win, but that was another. I just know. I mean, watching it, I yelled with excitement, and I was really kind of pulling for Kirkwood, but I felt for McLaughlin because I've seen what's going on with him. He just seems to have some disappointing interviews and disappointing moments, and I mean, since the Indy 500, there, I would love to see him win the Indy 500 in the next couple of years and redeem himself for that, for himself. But it was just elation as a spectator of that move and going for it, and then just and then you could see it as he was going in the corner that it was not going to work, and then it just didn't. And but I agree with you. He had to go for it. He had to go for it, and it just is painful.
Yeah, I know. Man, I'm a Kiwi. He's a Kiwi. I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible. Look, I really want him to succeed. I really want him to get some better results to the end of the year, so that he can go into his break and feel relaxed, knowing that he's probably got a secure position and he can focus on trying to win the championship last year. I do recall you at the start of the season that you were having him as one of your championship favourites, and it hasn't come to fruition. Yeah. Time to get some good results now. Reset. Start again.
This will be something maybe we dive in the off season if we do a deep dive of his year and everything like that. We'll probably go through many drivers, but I see chatter that if things were to not go well, everybody's saying he should go to NASCAR with SVG. What thoughts on that? Do you think he should? Do you think he would? I don't think he would. I think he's a citizen. He's in Charlotte now. His wife is from here. They've got a family growing up now. So I feel like he would stay here in the States. But do you see NASCAR for Scotty Mack in the next 5 years?
I'll tell you what, because Scotty Mack was my hero in the V8 supercars, and he's quite an aggressive driver, like really aggressive. Him and SVG had some great battles against each other. If he went to NASCAR with the right equipment and with the right opportunity, he could make it work. Yes.
It'd be interesting because he has, albeit in a different car, he's got super speedway, oval experience, and is, like you said, he's proven he could perform there. Moving from that, I want to focus back on Palou. I think you coined the phrase, Ricky, Palou points plunder, and it was he kept your dream alive, your very, very nearly dead dream of a points battle in IndyCar with only 3 points races to go, 2 weekends to go. Although I think it's still on very limited life support realistically, but it's still not mathematically over. I mean, the 2 guys that needed to finish did. Kirkwood got the win. Lundgaard was right there. I still think Kirkwood or Lundgaard is no chance. Kirkwood virtually no chance. I read basically what needs to happen, or Kirkwood needs to win the races, and Palou needs to basically not finish or finish last or near last, for him to not clinch it this weekend in one of these 2 races, and for them to go to Monterey, I think, Laguna Seca, I'm blanking on it, and actually fight it out there. So it's unlikely, but it's not impossible, although Palou's not bad at Milwaukee either. He's got the full package, but I don't know. You saw that and your dream was still alive a little bit.
Right. Let me tell you something. America's Cup. USA team, they were down 8-1. New Zealand was ahead 8-1. And then America came back 8 wins straight to win 10-9. And won the America's Cup for America. Mm. Yes, I believe. I genuinely believe that Kirkwood or Lundgaard can do it. And you know what? I'm jumping the gun here. Lundgaard is my pick for winning at the Milwaukee.
No way. That's bold. That is bold. I can't get on board with that. Although that'll be the thing. Well, I'm going to table that for the Milwaukee discussion because that Lundgaard is a point there, but it's not just for the points. But I was just kind of struck by what the commentators, I want to say Townsend Bell, said on the broadcast when he hit the tire when and had that issue and had the penalty. You don't hear Palou on the radio yelling and screaming and kind of blowing his top like you were. I mean, we've all heard it in all motorsports, people just losing their cool, losing it. And I know that affects me on iRacing. As sim racers, we experience that and deal with it. So much less in an actual piece of machinery that's with all of those physical factors and everything that need your full focus. He seems to stay cool and just moves on. And I mean, that seems to serve him well. And, but I don't know, two ovals coming up, 2 oval races coming up with a load of points to pay out. And then obviously a track on a road course, natural road course that he could kill at, but he's not bad at these ovals. You can't, for some drivers, the ovals are their kryptonite. For Alex Palou, the ovals are not his kryptonite. So we can't even go into this weekend saying it's going to be a layup for any of these other drivers.
Thinking of Palou's race at DC, I actually reckon he was laughing in this car.
Yeah.
We think he's frustrated, but he's probably going, "Oh my God, boys, I'm so sorry." And I bet they're on the phone on the blower going, "Mate, it's a one-off. Don't even worry about it." And I bet when he got out of the car, everyone was just having a little bit of a chuckle around each other, going, "There was going to be one race where we weren't going to do well," and I reckon they laughed it off, man. Even though I want the championship to be tight, I'm not silly. Palou's doing a great job, and he's still got more than enough to win that championship. And we saw his hunger and drive to want to still race in that race. He didn't have to; he could have tried to pull it out. But those 3 incidences that he had involved in that race, that was him showing, "I'm hungry. I ain't sitting back here. I want to give it a crack." So that attitude didn't waver once in that race.
Yeah, he's pushing. They start doing the alternate strategies. I think Barry Wanzer, they played some audio in the feed of they're immediately working on when to pit, how to capitalize on this, how to stay on the lead lap, get back on the lead lap, whatever it takes to make a recovery, because obviously he's capable of passing his way through much of that field. And I think obviously, I think Kirkwood still would have had the win, but I think a podium for him obviously was there. If none of that had happened. Man, we talked about McLaughlin. I mean, to go back around to Penske and Malukas, how about Malukas? He would be my pick to win on a given weekend. Here lately, he has been. And he seemed really down. I don't know if you saw any of his interviews after his crash, but he seemed really mentally maybe out of sorts or something. He just seemed really down. I would love to know more about that or hear from him and see how he does this weekend on an oval where he's in a car and he's a young driver that can handle those tracks and get one or both of the wins this weekend. But he seemed to be mentally kind of shaken. And that's what made me really this week going into this think about Penske and, between McLaughlin and these two guys, their heads, they might need to just get a screw tightened, I guess.
Pressure, pure pressure. When I did my first podcast with you guys just after Nashville, he was second in the championship. He's had 3 bad races since. I'm looking at it here. He's 12th, 17th, and 24th. That's why he's depressed.
Yeah, he certainly is better than that. He is. I mean, he's been carrying Penske this year as far as I would say he's been doing the best, even though he doesn't have a win. I mean, Newgarden obviously does, but week by week, I would put my money on Malukas before the others. Honestly, at this point, I suppose. Man, we're running out of time here. I want Dixon to get a win with Ganassi one last time. We're running out of time. I want to see Malukas get his first win this year. We're running out of time. I want to see McLaughlin kind of get some kind of recovery here at the end. Let's move on. We'll look at this weekend's doubleheader. So last year it was just one race at Milwaukee. The year before we had the doubleheaders, and we're back to the doubleheader, the twin 250s at Milwaukee. So for racing fans, that's fantastic. That's 2 days of kind of digestible races, which I really like. Looking back at this race over the past couple years, so last year obviously we had Christian Rasmussen, who's a monster on these types of ovals. Gateway, this place, any of these size of ovals that we go to, I would put my money on Rasmussen. In fact, I probably will put some money on Christian Rasmussen. But here's where I say Palou has no kryptonite. Last year's second place finisher was Alex Palou. Last year's third place finisher, to your point, Scott McLaughlin. He can certainly get some kind of recovery shot in his arm this weekend. Rossi, to round out a good finish for ECR, he did 4th last year. Pato, 5th. Obviously, he can handle these types of courses as well. But going back to the previous year, 2024, McLaughlin won one of the 250s. Scott Dixon second in one. Pato Award won the other with Will Power behind him. So some common denominators here, I think, Pato, McLaughlin, and I mean, at these tracks in general, Rasmussen. Some things we're watching for, and I'm curious of how closely you'll watch for these, or if there are any other things you would. Kind of what we just said. We're watching for Penske performance, I feel. I think any of the three Penske guys can get a win this weekend. I think Penske can sweep this weekend. Is that a hot take, or you think a pretty predictable take?
Oh, it's good.
Penske sweep the weekend.
Thanks for two ways to look at it. Yeah, it's predictable. You got two drivers that are very, very good there, and Malukas did very well last year, getting the top 10. So yeah, you're right. It could be a chance. I'd like to. I'm hoping that Andretti and McLaren can actually give it a run. I'd like to see something different there. That'd be nice. I probably, like I say, my pick was Lundgaard simply because he needs some. I'm just rooting for him to get a good result on ovals and prove to McLaren that they made a bad decision.
Yeah,
like I say, there's only 4 races in the year that were ovals this year. 4 locations. That doesn't seem like you'd make a championship based around an oval driver.
Yeah.
And they don't do the major points like they used to do on ovals at the Indy 500 like they did back in the day. I just don't see why Lundgaard's struggling to find a seat. As you know, it's still not been announced. I'm pretty sure you should be announced by now. It's getting a bit late in the season, so I agree. Penske's a natural choice, but I'd like to see the McLaren team and Andretti team stick it to them. Ganassi, well, we already know Palau's going to be up there, and Scott McLaughlin's always up there at these types of tracks. But I'm making a rule: I'm never picking a Kiwi driver again because I think it shows I'm a bit biased.
I think any one of them could do it. I think McLaughlin can do it. Lundgaard, I can't quite get there, but you do make a really good point that I do agree with that. I mean, if they don't add more ovals, then maybe it just kind of is a wash at some point. I mean, it won't be the perfect season, but if you're fantastic on street and natural road courses, you can certainly get everything, a lot out of it. I mean, that's one thing I was thinking to watch for. To the extent that it matters, and fellow fans may agree or disagree with these takes and how much that matters. I mean, if I guess you could put the weight of the Indy 500 on the entire year as a huge thing on the scales there that really pushes it towards it mattering. But this could be a 2-race tryout for CGR if it's not already a foregone conclusion. Some people I've read with still no really great sources assume that the Lundgaard to the 9 is a done deal, that it's just not announced. I haven't seen anything that convinces me to say that, I think that's absolutely going to happen and just check that box in my head. I think it could go other ways still. It seems like Mick Schumacher, who finished 11th, another thing I'm watching this weekend. Schumacher overall is performing well, finished 11th, like we said, at DC. He was out of his seat. He said to the media this weekend that he does know where he's racing next year, but he didn't say where. But a lot of the reports are and rumors are that it is basically going to be the second Meyer-Shank Racing Honda. So that seems to be the case, although unannounced. But Schumacher's another one I'm keeping an eye on. Schumacher, Penske, Lundgaard. Oh, is there anything else? Am I missing anything to watch over the course of 2 races in a weekend?
I just want to see those guys at the back that we're not seeing up there. Louis Foster, Felix. I want to see something different, just to break up, because we always talk about Penske, Andretti, not us personally, but this just the industry is always talking about the favourites. That Rasmussen race win last year was just phenomenal, and I'd love to see something like that. I have to admit, there's got to be a good break on that either on the last pit stop or on the last yellow, on the last caution. Whoever's got the best tyres coming out of there, generally has a good chance, and that's what Rasmussen did. He came out and his car was on lock. So yeah, I'd like to see some of the other guys down there give it a crack. It'd be good to see Lucas too. Obviously, just get back up there again, get some confidence back into his racing. VK, that'd be nice to see him up there.
Yeah, he's been doing great lately.
He has. He was my pick for the number 9 car, and I still think he's a valid pick.
I agree. Yeah, I'm with you on that for him for the 9. I would jump on that in a heartbeat. There's some wounded out there, like we said, in Lucas and McLaughlin that really, I think, need that pickup and could get it this weekend. Rasmussen, I think I honestly am most excited for the 2 races this weekend because of Christian Rasmussen. He is wild to watch at these places when he is able to pass and try whatever line and use whatever line. He races like Takuma Sato qualifies.
Oh yeah, he does. Yes,
it's fantastic. Like, I love watching it, and he seems to get that kind of reputation, and you get this kind of sense maybe from drivers and different things. Rinus VeeKay tried to toss that out at the race this weekend, although he didn't know the full story and apologized later. But Rasmussen can be a little sketchy and a little eager, but he is fun to watch on these kind of size ovals. So I am pumped to watch it.
His outside overtakes last year were sensational. Like, nearly going into the wall to make the overtake.
Yeah.
But that's what it took. And even Palou did a great defense just before Rasmussen took the win. Palou tried to take him out wide, tried to block him. Didn't work. Rasmussen said, I'm going to stay out wide. And Alex Palou, he was the best. I reckon he was the best at defending against him, and it still wasn't good enough. And the whole industry of Indy celebrated that win.
Yeah, checkers to wreckers for Christian Rasmussen, I think it could be at times. That is certainly possible. So I'm excited to see that. Let's look through the odds and make our picks for the Milwaukee. And I think because, Ricky, there's 2 races, I guess we deserve to make 2 picks, right? So I think you made one maybe already in McLaughlin, but we'll get more. We'll see. Or you could pick a driver to sweep. That would be maybe another bold pick. Let's look at the odds. Let's see what the odds makers say about these races this weekend.
Sure.
At an oval like this, Joseph Newgarden is favored. So Joseph Newgarden is 2-1 roughly. Alex Palou is right there under him at 3-1. David Malukas 5-1. Kyle Kirkwood and Christian Rasmussen both come in at 8-1. Pato O'Ward 8.5. McLaughlin 10-1. I'm skipping down because nothing too interesting, but I'm going to focus on, I think, my long shot, my value, if you are willing to make a pick and get some value back for it. Marcus Ericsson and Christian Lundgaard, but specifically in my mind, Marcus Ericsson, 20-1. At least as of now, $20 for every $1 you would invest in Marcus Ericsson. I mean, look at what Marcus Ericsson was doing at Gateway, which with the rain delays and this and that, it really seemed like Ericsson had a shot at that. I want to say, did Kirkwood not win the year before there as well? So the Andretti cars, they can figure the ovals out, and Marcus Ericsson is certainly another one where that's not his kryptonite. He is a proper IndyCar driver who can perform on the ovals, the street courses, and the natural road circuits. So I'll make a pick. I'll throw it back to you, Ricky, to drive home either the pick you made or change it or make another one. But I'm going to pick that long shot. Marcus Ericsson's going to win one of these races this weekend for Andretti.
Yeah, this ain't fun when we pick someone at the top. It's too easy we can easily pick a top 3 driver. That's boring.
Yeah.
That's what we call boring golf. Thank you. Now I'm going to do Lundgaard, and I'm going to pick Pato O'Ward. So I'm going to give the McLaren crew a chance this weekend. Lundgaard, because I want him. I just believe that it's uncalled for to say he's not that good on the ovals. I just think he just needs the right setup to get him there. And he like I said, he got a top 10 last year. So that's why I'm going to give him a chance. And if he gets the right tyres and he's got the right strategy where he just comes out at the right time out of the last pit stop or last caution, he could do a Rasmussen.
Yeah, I could see it. Well, that's wild. I could see McLaren getting one of these wins, but I honestly have to say I would think it would be Pato. But that is not the bold pick on my behalf. So I respect your bold pick at Lundgaard.
Thank you. Yeah, Palou would have to admit that's me trying to get an easy win. I've been pretty lackluster with my last few picks. Although I did get a top 10 last week with Scotty. Not good enough. It's over. If you're not first, you're last.
So I've got Ericsson. I believe in Ericsson, and that is a value that you better believe I'm taking some value on Ericsson and a little on Rasmussen. But I'm not going to pick Rasmussen. Although I don't think that's not bold in this scenario. I think. But yeah, to me, Rasmussen it's not a bold pick because he could win. He's got what it takes. It's really the only place where that comes out in him most of the time. But also, I don't trust Christian Rasmussen to not crash for the aforementioned reasons of how aggressive and bold he is. So I'm going to go with my tried and true this season, especially on this show. I'm going to go with David Malukas. Malukas, his long dark night of the soul will end in one of these two races. Could be both, but that's what I'm going to go with. I think we maybe could both agree we should see a Penske win this weekend, or something's wrong. There has to be a Penske win this weekend. It's where they're getting it this year. It so happens.
What's Roger doing? I actually thought he was having a bad season on purpose, just to prove to everyone that he's not taking over the sport and trying to make his own team win. They're doing really bad. He's gone too far.
It could be that. It could be one giant ruse to, those team cheaters flags popped up very quickly, and they've not all gone away. When I went to Watkins Glen for IMSA, there was a team cheaters flag flying high on somebody's RV on the campgrounds. Yeah. So the people that have not forgotten attenuator gate and the like, and push to pass gate and things like that. So, I mean, they did make some changes and have some issues there. That particular Indy 500 last year was not the best of times for Team Penske.
Yes.
Well, a lot of racing this weekend. Not a lot to go, but we'll stay through the off season and through the rest of the season on IndyCast. We'll look to get Rob back in here and have the three of us going through everything after two races. So catch us next week after the action, and we'll break it down and see what the silly season still has in store for us as it winds down here on IndyCast.
This is Into the Apex Motorsport Podcast Network.